Lethal Opinions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lethal Opinions podcast, where things get quite lethal. I'm here with my two co-hosts. We got Sylas the Red, the Australian, Brody, guy who exists, the Brit. Really not a whole lot to say there, except for what he just did with his voice there. That was pretty accurate to Brody's character. Today we didn't really have a topic because our guest of honor did not show up. Sniker, you know who you are. I'm coming for you. Anyways, so today
we're not buying you Call of Duty World War II next time.
That's an Optimus Prime reference.
Today we're gonna get a little political. You know that, guys?
What?
So we did not have a plan coming into this, so I'm coming up with this on the fly. How do you guys feel about How do you guys feel about the? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to bring up anything political. I was going to as a bit, but I'm afraid that things actually might get a little heated. So I guess we could do that. You guys want to do that? Let's just get political. Fuck it. Fuck it. It's a podcast. Let's get.
How
let's
do
get
you
political.
guys feel about Joe Biden?
I fucking hate him. I hate that he's my president. We were just talking about this. Silas and I were just talking about this.
Yeah.
So there's a clip that. So there's a clip that has been pretty viral in my country. I'll play it now instead of my microphone so we can all hear it. That Sylas sent it, and it's really funny. Here we go, this one.
I'm going to take on those rapist Mexicans. Then he claimed, there's never been a president. Never been a president. Oh, it is a lie. It's your son in Ukraine. I'm going to take...
So, that line of rapist Mexicans, so to be clear, the context is that he was quoting Trump. But I think it's so funny that everyone was like, no, that's just him saying that. Because he's so fucking nutty in the head that you could absolutely picture Joe Biden saying out loud, taking on those rapist Mexicans.
Not just that, but the fact is, the bit after that was not quoted by Trump. The bit where he full on broke character and just went, "There's never been a president. There's no." That was a lie.
There's never
Like he went full just lizard mode again.
That's what he does. I hate the fact that that's my president. It really makes me sick. Like, say what you will about Trump, at least he was kind of there in the head, somewhat.
Wait, yeah, at least he had a goal.
At least
and
he could
did
go
what
up a
he
flight
said.
of stairs without falling up them.
Yeah, I think every time he hits his head as well, he goes through a different personality.
Trump was there enough in the head to start profiting off of his business while he was doing presidency.
Exactly, see?
And then start, using documents in his toilet to wipe his bum.
It's like looking back,
Yeah,
so
of
for
course.
context, because I think this is interesting, I didn't vote for the 2020 U.S. election, even though that was my first year I was actually legally allowed to vote. I could have voted. I had the option. I chose not to because, to me, I thought it was... So, let's roll back the tape a little bit, because I gotta
You're
give
a
context to
fucking
this.
dumbass.
Yeah, I was a dirty
Wait, pause it
libtard.
right there, actually.
So,
Pause it right there. So, wait, I got a question before we go any further. So, Brody, is it mandatory to vote in the UK again? I can't remember. It's not, is it?
No.
And it's not in America either. In Australia, you get fined if you don't vote. If you're over 18 and you're a citizen, or 18 or over, and you don't vote, you get fined.
can't you just do an empty ballot?
Yeah, you could. But you have to rock up to a place like a school or like an actual government building or whatever.
That's so shitty. Yeah, they should
You
be
get-
still
paying
love
you
that,
then in
but-
that case. They should pay you to vote.
Spoil-
You know?
Oil
Yeah,
ballots
because
are actually
and
counted.
there's some idiots in Australia where they're like kids and like, we should be able to vote at 16, and it's like, well, do you want that burden really?
Yeah,
Like,
it's so
it's-
shitty.
fined?
Well, it's not even a burden nowadays because the whole concept of voting is a bunch of bullshit. You don't even do any research anymore. You just fucking choose whichever one sounds cool.
I like the red color.
It's like Joe Biden isn't Trump. Yeah, I'll go vote for him then because he's not Trump. It's like, okay, that's why that is why Biden got elected. A lot of Republicans like to scream and cry and bitch about how, oh no, he got elected because he faked ballots. Like, no, he got elected because nobody wanted to fucking revote Trump again because he became a dickhead at the end of his presidency.
Yeah.
Like, even if you didn't like him to begin
It's not
with,
because they wanted Biden, it's just because they didn't want Trump.
exactly, that's what it
Ooh,
was. A lot of people in this country are fucking idiots, and what they do is they vote against people. But going back to what I was saying originally about my college years, so I was in college. This was the end of my first year, so it was the second semester of my first year, if I remember correctly. And I'd become such an apathetic douchebag around this time, and I just fucking hated so much of what America stood for. And so what I did was I was like, I'm just not going to vote Because everyone on campus, because, you know, they're all Democrats on a fucking college campus. So what they do is they're like, yeah, vote, 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 go vote. And then the second you tell them that I'm not voting for the left side, they're like, ew, what the fuck's wrong with you, idiot? And then they argue with you. And it's like, you told me to fucking vote. Let me vote. But anyways, so I was like, I'm just not going to vote. And everyone kept telling me to vote. And I made a fucking post about it. And I was like, yeah, voting is fucking stupid. You don't have to do it. And everyone in the comments got mad at me saying, yeah, you should just go vote anyways. Because, like, then you can support your... I'm going to read this. This one pissed me the fuck off. Like, to this day.
I just looked it up really quick. In the UK, you can be fined if you don't register to vote.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
different than
register.
actually voting. I can get that.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah, I was like, you naughty boy, you naughty boy.
Here it is.
hang on.
So I posted saying, and this is on to Instagram, I posted a little screenshot of my text saying, listen, I hate getting political because quite frankly, no one needs to know shit about my beliefs. But if you don't want to vote because we're stuck between choosing one of two actual fucking pedophiles, then don't. You're not legally required to vote, especially with these two morons as our only options. I'm not going to put the country that I've grown up in the hands of two racist, crusty-ass pedophiles. I'm sick of all these boomers making propaganda because they don't realize that they have a choice. I don't care about what anyone else thinks because no matter who gets in office, I'm not to blame for their shitty mistakes. And then one of the comments, I'm going to read this. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Yes, they're both horrible because no politician will ever be perfect, but we need to ultimately settle for Biden if you want to support your LGBTQ plus black, female, and immigrant friends. There's plenty of evidence against Donald Trump being a rapist involved with Jeffrey Epstein and a court case against him and a 13-year-old. There's no hard evidence of Biden at least sexually abusing anyone, just what people like to claim. I highly encourage you to vote as well as your vote counts. Just think about it, please. And I responded with, I'll support my friends by respecting their votes. I don't believe I should have to vote for, hang on, sorry. I'll support my friends by respecting their votes. I don't believe I should have to vote for my friends. They go with Biden, cool. They go with Trump, cool. I don't care about I don't care about the people my friends vote for, but who I'm going to vote for. And in this case, neither person is better. Biden may not have hard evidence for the child abuse crimes. That doesn't mean he hasn't acted strange. Jesus Christ, I was a fucking idiot. But that doesn't mean he hasn't acted strange and inappropriate with kids in the past. On top of that, his line about not voting for him makes you not black is offensive and inappropriate. I'm not defending Trump by any means, just showing how neither is better than the other. And this person replies with, what?
Speak, Queen.
Hell yeah, preach. But then they replied with, you are totally entitled to your own opinion. I never said one was better than the other. I simply said we need to settle for Biden because if Trump gets elected, trans people's lives are in danger along with the rest of LGBTQ plus community. Which, as Brody just said, say it again, Brody.
That's exactly saying one's better than the other.
Thank you. It's like, I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying we need to vote for this one because he's better than the other. Like, come on, dude. Anyways, immigrants and the children in cages, Black lives matter. Black lives are in more danger. Women will no longer have a right to their body. Our nation will not be free. Which is, I find that really funny that the whole...
I understand where they're coming from with those points, but those seem like massive exaggerations. They're making it out like
what anyone who's
anyone
who's an extreme left
entitled to their bodies. No, they won't be entitled to abortions.
Exactly.
It's a different thing. They're not just gonna get raped on the streets.
That's the biggest like slippery slope fallacy I've ever heard.
Yeah,
like,
all of them are. This is okay, but here's the thing. It's not just. And I want to clarify something for any of our listeners, even though I'm sure a lot of them may be right leaning nowadays, because it feels like a lot of people are starting to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like either side. I will argue against and for both sides because I think both sides are important, but are also incredibly flawed. And this is why. The whole argument of, I apologize for slamming my microphone, by the way. The whole argument of basically the whole like abortion thing, taking away the women's rights. No one seems to know what Roe v. Wade, like getting rid of that actually was. Like, I don't think anyone fully understands. No. It was never about banning abortion. Abortion's still legal in the States. It just... Marley, you're so goddamn adorable. Sorry, my dog just, like, crawled over on the screen. You can see her in the bottom of the corner.
That is so adorable.
Sorry. Anyways, as I was saying...
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, Marley, you want to
It's
get a
not
shout
about
out?
banning abortion.
girl.
It's about giving the states the right to choose.
How the
whether
fuck does
they
a British
want
person
abortion or
who's
not.
not
Is that it?
16, 18 know this shit more than the goddamn average American?
Because I actually read up on political drama and
It's
such.
fucking stupid. Like it's dumb that as an American, a lot of people I know do not fully understand that. I had a girlfriend who didn't know that. And then she tried to argue with me that it was still stupid. Like, no, it's actually better. Because now it's up to your state. So now you can actually vote to have it changed in your state. So your voice actually is now you actually have more of a right to choose this.
The really like, you know, right-leaning states can have what they want, and the left-leaning states can have what they want.
Exactly. And it's like if you don't like that, then fucking stop living in a right-leaning state. Go live somewhere else. Or how about this? Use your fucking vote. You complain about things not being free, then fucking use your vote. That's the whole point of America. It's supposed to be about freedom incarnate. It's fucking stupid. I listen, I'm not.
What are you, Leonard Free?
If you
America
wouldn't
was
argue
supposed
against
to
the
be
concept,
freedom incarnate. No. Let me make a point here. America was supposed to be freedom incarnate to such a point that when it was first created, people were already questioning the name the United States and wanted to change it to Fredonia.
thank you. Even though Fredonia
it
is
sound
such
like
a fucking,
freedom.
it sounds like the cuckolded version of America. It's so bad. But yes,
Yeah. It does. But still, like you get the idea. Like that's the
Sounds like
overly
something from, like, the
patriotic
Flintstones or
idea of
something.
America is Fredonia.
So going back to this, the
like
comment, she says, Trump is racist, homophobic, sexist, xenophobic, and racist. I also never said that he hasn't ever acted strange and inappropriate in the past. They're both creeps, I agree. Also, respecting your friends' votes is great. I wasn't telling you who to vote for. It was ultimately my personal opinion to support those
you are.
communities throughout America. LGBT, and that's important. And then there's this kid, I don't want to say his name. I kind of do because I fucking don't like him at all. He's an annoying prick. But he said, speak queen to this girl.
Wait, was he the one was he saying that to her?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought he was saying it to you. That was,
No, this kid's a fucking jackass.
That's
Yeah, right.
That's-
What? Wait, so what's she to you then? Like, not obviously name dropping, but what was she, like a mate to you or something?
No, she was. I knew her. She was the same high school class as I was. We talked a few times. We were cool. And honestly, again, I want to emphasize. By the way, I respect her beliefs. Like she can go vote for fucking Biden because of LGBT shit. I really don't care. Be whatever the fuck you want to be. You know. I was just saying
that's America. You have the right to do that.
Yeah, it's just like the arguments that she was presenting to me to go vote were retarded, and that was my issue.
Yeah.
Personally, maybe I'm sorry to interrupt. Maybe I'm
No, you're
old
good.
school, right? Maybe I'm just a really old man, but I don't get with the whole leave a comment on someone's post as like negative. I get having a negative opinion.
Well,
Just
no, she
talk
wasn't
to them,
negative.
or
She was just trying to argue against what I was saying, which I
yeah, but what I mean is, I know obviously like prime things for that is like Reddit or Twitter or whatever. I just don't get it. I'd rather just wouldn't like either a DM or just a call to actually hear someone's opinion. I don't get people who vent off in comments and go this that because
Because people have been tricked by the modern world into thinking that if they spout their opinion on social media,
the louder
suddenly
you
makes
say it,
more important.
the more important it
Yeah,
is. Yeah, it's fucking autistic. It's why I hate
It's
modern day
just
politics.
not true.
Like everyone who's listening to this, because I know we're only gonna get like 10 views, but that's okay because I like doing this. Fuck you if you disagree. Everyone who
I
listens
like
to this,
lethal opinions politics. This is cool.
I feel like I should say my political standing a little bit, so for context. I think in my
aligned with
country,
Mac and me?
I'm not going off of anything else. I think Mac and me needs to be the biblical text. No, when you have a theocracy. And I'm of the belief that I think a two-party system in America is fucking stupid, and we should just not have a two-party system at all. It is actively fundamentally destroyed everything about how our country is ran, because a lot of people then and I'm a believer that the two-party system, being as divisive as it is now, is absolutely a way for the CIA to slowly take control of the people. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm probably gonna get shot in the head for saying this. I am an active believer that the only reason we have the two-party system as prominent as we do even now is because the government is actively trying to take away control from the people, and they're distracting us with a bunch of petty bullshit like racism. Really?
Yeah.
Racism? That's what we're getting upset about nowadays? Like, I'm sorry. It's so fucking
Not
stupid
China.
to me. No, seriously, the whole China thing is
China.
fucking. I hate China. I hate China so much. Like, if we could just remove all the citizens from China and then just delete China
Jesus.
out of the universe, just delete
China
it.
so much.
I don't mind the citizens. I have nothing against them. They're just living their lives. I hate everything about the government and the companies. They have actively destroyed the world time and time again.
Chinese society, fine. Chinese state, no.
Exactly, and it's fucking disgusting that like so many companies.
But what
in
about
America,
Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh? I think Winnie the Pooh should get shot in the head. And I know you're talking about the Chinese president. I just want to clarify.
Thank you.
But yeah,
But
it's
also,
like
what about
Russia.
Winnie the Pooh,
Russia's
the
the same
actual-
way. I
the
fucking hate both
character?
those countries. I hate like these, and North Korea. I hate all of them. Although to be fair, I'm an American, so I can comfortably say I hate the idea of communism. I think communism's fucking stupid. But that's just me.
Grr, communism.
I'm an American. I think I've said this before. I'm proud to be an American, right? I hate a lot of the people who are in my country, and I think a lot of them should be exported to another country. But I'm proud to be an American. I cannot say
That's
a lot
one
of like.
thing I gotta say. Sorry, but
I'm not
the one
allowed
thing-
to be proud of where I'm from.
Yeah, no, Brody. I mean, you're not allowed to because
Eh,
again,
fucking twat,
you know, because me and Pearl were actually saying before as well. You can only brush so far back in history and try and
Yeah.
relate it to your own personal context, and then kind of use that
See,
as a way of
people
dividing
say, "Oh,
people.
you can't be proud to be British because of the history of what." Even if you take that away and do the modern day, I'm proud to be British now in the modern world. No,
yeah,
because
like-
fucking Rishi Sunak
Yeah, well,
and Theresa
it's
May,
just- yeah,
and David
yeah.
Cameron and Boris Johnson.
Boris
no.
Johnson.
Boris
there you go,
Johnson, we were
that's what
talking
you had to
about.
say. Yeah, well, I showed him the video of him rugby tackling that kid.
Yes,
But it's
yes,
just,
the rugby tackle.
yeah, Americans are very proud of their country. Like,
Not
you know,
Americans.
that's the one
Don't say
thing that's just-
Americans. It's not Americans.
What then?
It's a lot of people
United
mistake that as okay.
Statesians.
Back in like the early 2000s, yes, a lot of Americans were proud. Nowadays, most kids who are around my age group or our age,
Despise it.
they
Oh, no.
even though
Yeah.
they should be, because them complaining and shit about America is why America is great, because you can't do that in a lot of other countries. You go and shit
Freedom
on the
of
country,
speech,
the
yeah.
fucking government's going to send some agents after you and you're going to
China,
disappear.
and you know, if
China's a
you're in
great
a
example. It's
university
like-
student in China, something happens in, I don't know, that one square thing. Nothing happened, but like,
Yeah, Tiananmen
if something
Square, that
happened
didn't
there-
happen. That didn't happen.
Ooh.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Guys,
That didn't happen. That
guys,
didn't happen.
just a little
That
ad
didn't
break.
happen.
That didn't happen. But yeah,
Sorry, there was
no,
audio glitch.
I was,
That
sorry,
didn't
I was
happen.
referring. I was referring
YouTube's
to
gonna
like.
take down our channel now because we go against Beijing state policy.
Probably, yeah. But no, it's just. I don't know. I was trying to.
Have you
about
guys
it
seen the
before.
maps of the Chinese 9-dash line? Have you seen that shit?
9-dash
The
line.
what?
That sounds familiar.
It's basically China's like maritime claims over the South China Sea, and it just cuts into so many other countries.
Yeah, it's called
claims to that
China.
sea.
I
Like,
fucking hate China. Sucks ass.
But you know, all these other countries that want a piece of the pie with all the oil resources, the fishing rights. No, China wants it all.
Yeah, and you fucking. I hate it. Anyway, Sylas, as you're saying, sorry.
Yeah, no. I was going back to like, there's only so much you can kind of go back in history and kind of use as a thing. Sure, like
Yeah.
we're getting to the point now where, as a society, we've evolved, we've adapted, and like you were saying, we have freedom of speech in a lot of places, and we know because we're so educated on things nowadays. It's not just as simple. You go to a library, you read something, and then you get to go again. You legit pull up on your phone if you want to know what happened in this period of time. So any like, not even just argument, but like a discussion. I mean, more like it. Any discussion, you could easily just pull up simple facts, like in a second, and it's evolved like so much as people, but yet we are still so unadvanced in the ways of our beliefs. I think, again, unity is one thing which we struggle with, even in our own countries, either between ethnic groups, either between religion, whatever it is, creed. Doesn't matter what it is, but it's just, I don't know. It's sad, because yet again, it's always the trouble of, I don't know, because you can't really know too much about history because, again, history, all it was in time was you had empires they conquered, you had Anglo-Saxon took over the UK,
I
England.
thought you just said anal
You know,
sex.
no, well, I don't
No,
know, maybe that came in.
Anglo-Saxons.
Anglo-Saxons, and what you
The
got all these,
worst thing that could have ever
all the
happened in
German,
history
French,
is the discovery of
as
anal
anal sex
sex.
taking over. Oh yeah,
That, if you
that's
don't know, that
Don't,
actually
don't you don't you
led
remember
to.
that time? Don't you remember that time in the 400s when the anal Saxons came and took
the anal sex came over.
California?
Yeah,
They
well,
took
they are
over the
German
world.
slash French, so it's like both a bit of, a bit of a mix in there. So
That'd be such a good movie.
um,
Imagine a conspiracy movie, and it's like literally just about how anal
God,
sex destroyed this like modern culture and world. Like it caused 9/11, it caused slavery
it's just
to
the root
exist.
cause of everything.
It caused
It's
the
just
death
like,
of
yeah,
Jesus Christ
Anal.
because Jesus
it's just
Christ
a
was
domino
caught doing
effect.
anal sex.
No. The anal Saxons created Stonehenge, guys.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god.
There's an alien race that actively they're the ones who invented anal sex. They created Stonehenge, and if you look at it, Stonehenge subliminally like tricks you into thinking anal sex is the way to go, and that has ruined our culture. Just that's
Yeah.
the entire movie, and then every
Don't
character
you
dies
know,
at the end, trying to reveal it.
Don't you know 9/11 was an anal sex plot?
Don't you know 9/11 was an anal sex
Basically,
job? Right.
yeah. But going back to the Anglo-Saxons,
Anal
who,
sex, yeah.
they plundered, raped villages. This is horrific things which happened in the past, and we look at it in a textbook of history and we go, okay, that's history. That happened. It was awful because we were back then. It was very primitive times where it was very
Where are
much
you
just
going
conquer
with
the
this?
world. I don't know. I'm going to a bit here, and then I was saying it's very similar to other parts which are more contemporary, even, which is sad. Where you got like America, when obviously that whole thing happened with a lot of the indigenous population, everyone in the world, the indigenous population has been conquered and then taken over,
Yeah.
and that
Talk
was
about American
so.
indigenous population, not the Australian indigenous
And
population.
that's
I see how it
and
is.
that's where we're going to it. That's where we're going to the Australian one as well. It's just anywhere in the world. And again, I'm wondering when it's going to get to the point of going, okay, in a textbook, going, this has happened in that past, and these people, it's just ridiculous for them to conquer in that. But again, we can move on from this and kind of go, okay, we're better now. None of us were around back then, so we're different people. And we're better people, especially for knowing all this knowledge. We're again having access. I refer to it again because it's made us into better people. So with that, you would have liked to think that we can go. We're basically the same. We want the same things, like obviously different meanings. That, but we want the kind of happiness. Like
Huh?
Brody right now, sleeping, having a little nap. That's his happiness. But we all want to strive for happiness. So yeah, that's why it always confuzzles me is the fact that we're so far behind, and we're kind of like you said, with even though you could say with the U.S. government, saying about with a two-party system and trying to divide and that, whatever it is, no matter what country, there's always something in the way of it, which is yeah. And
You just
I've
went
said
off.
something bad, haven't I?
No, you just went off on like this big tangent about how we all need to be happier and all this shit, and like I don't even know how you managed to like bring it back into like actually what we were talking about. That was like so fucking bizarre. I was so confused as what the hell you were talking about after a bit, and then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, because you were trying to get us to be okay. I get you. It's just funny.
See, I thought when he was talking about history, I thought he was going to make a certain point, but he didn't. So I'll just make the point: is that history? A
I'll just
lot
give
of
you a
people
history
go into
lesson.
looking at history with the perspective that history will repeat. That this
Yeah,
happened here, so it's probably going to happen again. No,
no,
it
no, your
can.
history would
It
be
can
doomed to
repeat.
repeat it. Have you never seen
It
any Cold
can,
War teaser
but
trailers?
you should never observe history with the expectation that it will repeat.
Yeah.
It's more of a learning
Hashtag my
about
man will
why
be
that
as
might have
well.
happened, and then interpreting that into your modern world as to
Just before
why
we
those
continue as
effects might
well,
happen today.
um, before we go on with any more history, can we just have a minute of silence for Gorbachev who died last year?
Yes, of
Thank you.
course, of course.
Of course.
Dude, my fucking asshole itches so bad.
Dude, I was going to say the same thing.
There we go. We got a minute. All right, great, wonderful. Thank you.
That was nice. Yeah, so did you know actually koalas can give you chlamydia?
You know who else has chlamydia?
Oh.
So yeah. Anyways, as I was saying before we started all of this, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day.
No. Everybody leave a comment saying how happy you're feeling. If you're not feeling happy, then leave a comment saying how unhappy you're feeling. And someone's going to reply to you, I hope.
Somewhat. Everyone who listens to this point, I want you to put the word apple in the comments. I want you to put the word apple, just so we can confirm that someone
Put the word
listens to
China
this.
in the comments.
Put the word apple China. Put apple
China
China
pie.
in one comment. Just put one comment down below. Just put apple China and be like, yeah, apple China, and we'll be like, oh.
That means we know you've listened up to this point, and you get a chance to win in the giveaway. That's right. What is the giveaway I'm promising you right now? Nothing.
Dude, why would you say that, man? I thought
You
you were gonna give me something.
win nothing.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Oh my god, he got a Willy Wonka reference. He got the Willy Wonka reference.
Have you guys ever seen Blazing Saddles?
No, actually, I'm not really into strap-on.
Did Brody fall asleep while we were doing the moment of silence, by the way?
No, I just went above and beyond. You guys did 1 minute of silence. I did 3.
Dude,
I was thinking about
this
how
guy's
the
fucking
collapse
nutty,
of communism
mate.
caused by Gorbachev caused the uprising in Yugoslavia.
It's funny. I don't even know who you said. I was just like, moment of silence. Yeah, this is a funny bit. I'm just gonna follow along. So if you might
Might
have
go
said
Gorby.
Gorbachev.
Yeah, Gorby, dude. Fucking Gorby. The dude with the
Gorby?
fucking, like, scar on his head.
Oh, the Russian.
Gorby. Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy who stopped communism.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Not
he-
intentionally though.
Well, no, didn't he?
Well, not intentionally, but yeah.
Didn't he try to make everyone there like a democracy or whatever?
No,
yeah.
no, he was like,
he opened
alright,
up the
guys.
press. He wanted
Yeah,
a
he
little
opened
bit
up the
more
press.
democratization. He
Yeah,
wanted
So
and
what
then
he
immediately
did-
everything got shut back down when Vladimir Putin went.
No,
to
no,
power.
no. So, yeah, but what happened exactly? He was like, okay, so we want because everybody's like, okay, communism is good because all that. So he goes, you know what? We're gonna have a communist system. Everybody's like, yeah. So, but you guys can openly critique me because the press is now open. They're like, oh, that's sick. Okay, so if something goes wrong, we can mention it. He goes, yes. Then he goes, you know what? I forgot what the word is now. Pilot strike or whatever. There was a certain one, and then he goes, you know what, guys? It'll be good better for our communist party, for our communist little economy going on here. They're like, what? And it's like you can have privatization of things. They're like, what? This isn't communism. He's like, yeah, but wait, listen to this
own
one.
shit.
You
Yeah, I
can have
remember this.
international
And,
like
one,
exporting of things.
some of the guys
And-
that got in on it really, really quickly became like fucking
Tetris.
billionaires.
Tetris. Do you guys know that Tetris is actually government owned?
I believe it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was initially government owned, and then what happened was they're like, "Oh no, guys! Turns out we didn't make a communist economy. This is capitalist, guys." And then everybody started complaining because the press was allowed. So then everybody complained, and then don't worry. By the way, there's a happy ending. The guy bought Tetris back, the rights to it, which was a happy ending. But also, the factories, because the government got so poor, they sold. The factories went basically sold, and then these people bought it, and then the people sold it back to the government. And that's how you got the oligarchs who are gazillionaires, because they sold the government back their factories, which is, it's good. Good
It's just so
Um,
time.
funny to me because it's just like, it's really funny because
and then
I'm pretty sure
Gorbachev went
Russia
on,
was
a little
like,
holiday and got kidnapped.
it's like, didn't
Yeah.
Russia like something about it was it was like just the quality of living didn't it increase? Wasn't it way better to like live there at that point because of all the
Oh,
changes?
capitalist! When it was capitalist, it was worse. It was terrible.
Oh,
it was
it
like,
was?
we
I
like
thought it was
communism,
like
actually.
really
Yeah.
nice.
No, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
really
No?
bad. It was terrible.
Because I thought that was one of the funniest parts is that it's like, oh, wow, when they actually changed their government, it actually got better.
No.
What a surprise.
No,
No, because
like,
all of the institutions that had been built around it had been built around the communist economy,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
obviously they weren't prepared for capitalism. So
yeah,
they just
and all of the
stupid.
government were like
Failed.
basically old people as well,
Wait,
like
do you
all
think
old
maybe
like
he was,
communist
do you think
comrades.
maybe he was actually like an American spy?
I wouldn't be surprised because it's such a good plot because you know what he did as well. He did like the best like farewell speech thing, and I can't remember what it was now, but he was like he basically I don't know how long ago it was. I don't know if it was 1991. I don't know. I can't remember now. But he literally just dipped. As soon as it hit the fan, he was like, "Actually, guys, I basically made a mistake."
He made a YouTuber apology.
Yeah, yeah, and then what's his name? Oh.
He
Yeah,
said-
Reagan was like, dude, this is great. You've done a good job. You know, Berlin Wall's gone down. And then he was like, no, you shouldn't have done that. And he's like, yeah.
No,
You know, just because
I
Reagan
guarantee
was like,
he was an American like special.
probably because
special
Reagan is pretty convincing though, because he was like, tear down this wall, Mr. Gorbachev. And Gorbachev was like, nah, and he's like, tear it, and then he's like, okay. And then, but the best thing, I don't know if you know about the Berlin Wall and all that, because that was the biggest mess, because the Russian government, I forgot who it was now, but they're like, okay, you know what, we're going to allow, before they tore it down, they're like, we're going to allow people to go to the other side to visit. The guy didn't mention that you actually had to apply for this like ticket thing. I don't know what it was now exactly, but it took like months to get it. But yeah, he obviously for the press conference he forgot to mention that. So everybody went to like the entries, like all the like
no.
entry gates, and they're like, we want to go in, and the guy's like, wait, but you're not allowed to because you got to apply for this thing. So basically, what happened was the like guards were like, you know what, sure you can go, and everybody just walked through, and that's when they started tearing it down. Cause
Oh,
like,
yeah. It was an Area 51 situation. They couldn't stop all of them.
no,
Well, it was more like
exactly
the exact
right.
opposite of the Area 51 situation, where they actually couldn't stop all of them.
Oh
Whereas
yeah,
the,
no.
the Area 51 situation was like 30 people showed up wearing really cringy outfits, and it was
And then
so
how the
cringe.
alien came around the corner.
I still remember like the fucking like the military planning. All right, the new Naruto runners go around the flank.
And
actually
what I
forgot
thought was
all
funny is that
about that.
everyone was like planning about this, right? And it was like, and then when it happened, I
Floridians
expected,
go on the front line. They could tank a lot of bullets.
like, I think everyone expected like one of two things were gonna happen. No one was gonna show up, or it was gonna be like,
Well,
like
everyone.
a few hundred people were gonna show up. It's gonna be
Yeah.
one or the other, and it was like 5 people. No, it was
And,
no, it was
you know-
actually like 30. Like 30 people showed up, and then what happened? I'm not even
Yeah.
shitting you. This happened. They walked up to the gate, and the guards were like, "You can't come in." And they're like, "Okay," and then they just fucking left. That was.
Yeah.
And then when the
yeah.
news
It's
anchors
like-
got there, one guy did a Naruto run in the background of the news footage.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's really, it's like that, you know,
the
everybody's
guy
done
that
it
made
once.
the meme felt like genuinely bad about the whole thing. As
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like that one, you know, we've all experienced it where you with the boys in the group chat, and you're like, guys, we're going to have the best sleep over this holidays, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then it gets to the point, and, like, no one, it doesn't go through. It's the exact same
Yeah.
situation.
It's just funny because it was just so stupid. It's like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Were they like Area 51? I guarantee they don't have aliens there. It's just it's a weapons testing website.
Dude, have you ever
Website.
seen Mac and
Job.
Me? Idiot.
I like to think that Mac is actually down there. Like, that wasn't a puppet. They really made it.
It's
like
actually
actual
canon.
Yeah, in
aliens.
Area 51, they have like aliens, Martians that have been liquefied into a shuttle.
Oh, yeah.
By a tube.
Legit, Mac and Me it's my headcanon right now. It's called,
Mac and Me
yeah.
is a fucking horror movie.
It is.
It's legit headcanon, so I walk around believing this, all those events unfolded.
Well, they did. It's just you haven't like.
Sorry,
There's a lot
son,
of
but you'll
black.
never walk again.
There's a lot of black ink. You know what I mean? There's a lot of black ink, and it's all been. That's why they sold the movie, because they want to be like, oh no, it's a movie. It's
A lot
a
of
movie.
Mac ink.
Well, if you look into it, if
Oh.
you really use your brain, it's like a lot of people don't know this. It's a documentary, but it was made into a kids movie. It was re-edited. It had some reshots done, but all of those aliens were real. Those were actually aliens.
Yeah.
You ever hear about the great?
And that kid in the wheelchair actually hit the ground hard and died off that cliff. Like, he died.
Yeah. What you don't actually know is that Mac and Me is actually a documentary about Lawrence of Arabia and the Arab Revolt.
I'm sorry, but I legit just remembered that scene in The Citizenship where that guy had no clue what was going on. The most offended guy. That just shows you that was truly real. Those events. That was a proper citizenship like place where it was held, and the guy's just like, what is going on?
9/11 was done
God.
by Mac and me.
Oh.
That's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, of course.
How do you think the U.S. would
Yes.
Sure,
react?
there's been a
If,
second Mac.
how do you think the U.S. would react if, like,
Oh no, me's coming.
well, how would you react if, like, not how? Yeah,
would
how do you
react
think
if
the
a
U.S.
fucking
government would
Boeing
react
plane
if,
got
like,
hijacked by a man with a water?
Let Pertlight talk. Wait. The poor man's just trying to talk.
thank you.
No.
There's okay,
No,
so like,
no, I need to know how the American people would react if their plane got hijacked by an alien
What the
with
people
a
need to
water.
know.
it'd probably crash into the Twin Towers again. It'd be electric boogaloo, you know. Anyways, so what would happen is, so, like, okay, so like in a market, you know, the cops get called, and they're like, hey, there's some really tall guy here trying to steal watermelons, and then the cops get there and the fucking building explodes, and out walks, you know, the dad and like the whole Mac family, right? The Mackers.
They're
the
all
Mackers.
alive.
The Mac Pack.
Yeah, the Mackers, what they do is they walk in.
That sounds like a slur, man. Is that a...
So the
Like-
Mac Pack walks in. So they walk out of this fire and they start opening fire. And then the fucking dad of the Mac Pack, he pulls out a gun and it's a revolver. He starts shooting and he kills 2 officers and then he disappears. How do you
Yeah.
think the government would react to that?
And then it starts playing I Hope You Die in the Fire FNAF 4 Living Tombstone parody.
I'm trying to get my.
You know the actual events of FNAF 3 is actually just a retelling of Mac and Me when they try and burn them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was Scott Cawthon trying to reveal the truth about Mac, the Mackers.
Scott, legit, what's gonna happen, right? The premiere of the Final
What-
Freddy,
what
he's
we
gonna
don't
go in
know
front of
is
the...
If
his
there
name
is
is
not a
actually
single
Mac.
Mac
he's-
and Me reference in the movie, I'm gonna burn the theater down. That is.
You know what he's gonna do? No,
promise.
in the premiere, right?
Man,
He's gonna go to the
man,
front.
Nobody knows
and-
the truth, but his name is actually Mac Cawthon.
No, but that's the thing. Like, he's gonna go to the premiere. He's gonna go to the front. Goes, hope you guys like my Mac movie, and then he's gonna peel his skin off. It's gonna be Mac's dad, and then
No, it's being Mac after years because he's grown up now and he actually has a human wife.
yeah, the crying child's actually Mac.
Yeah. The disabled kid will show up.
The
He's actually
purple
a
guy
kid.
is
He's not a
Mac's
kid
dad.
anymore. He's just in crutches. Like, oh guys.
just a cameo.
He was mentally disabled after he got brought back from the dead because his brain was turned off for too long. So when he got revived, he's like,
Well, he's gonna just have to holds him up in front of the thing. Goes, oh, give Fred Bear a big kiss.
We have the real Fight It's a Freddy's moment where the fucking the thing clamps down his head. Goes,
Oh.
oh, do you think Mac could be a Republican
I'm
or a
sorry,
Democrat?
Just oh man, I'm sorry, but I just can't get out the
interest.
image just holding him up, just by his like a neck, just holding up to the Fred Bear, like
His
all
broken
crippled,
legs,
all crumpled
like
body,
flying in the air as he tries to move them, but all they get is some spasms.
like a little noodle.
Like the pool noodles.
Yeah. While purple guy runs towards him at Mach 10.
With the
Purple
grimace
guy that's
shake.
just a purple pool noodle.
With the grimace shake,
Yeah,
and he
with
gives the kid the
grimace
grimace shake, and his head grows back totally fine, and he actually could walk again.
God, what happens when you give Mac the grimace shake? Because he lives on coke, right? So he's got some experience on drinking things that aren't water.
He would
I'm sorry, but
literally
what's
just.
in it? What's in the
I
grimace
don't know.
shake?
I don't
Like,
get all the memes about it. I wanted to try it.
I don't
was
get
gonna-
it either. The whole wake up thing, I don't get it. You should go back to that haunted house where you discovered, and do a meme, drink it, and go to that house, and then
Go
get stabbed
into the
by the
house and
crackers.
drink it at the same time. See what happens.
Right. So basically, in the grimace shake, there's this really dangerous chemical. A lot of basically every single person on
Grimace's
this planet
juicy
who's
fucking
died
cum.
has had this chemical in them. It's called dihydrogen monoxide. It's very dangerous. So that's why people are
Dihydrogen monoxide. I fucking love that. That is one of the-
I'm glad there's 2 hydrogen in that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I took chemistry to find that out because like I took chemistry in high school and when the teacher told us that because I didn't know about the whole like wasn't it like a big like it was like a big news story like a school had a bunch of
Yeah.
dihydrogen and everyone was freaking out and it's like guys It's just like what?
It's water. H2O.
The biggest I don't know about what your
Hydrogen
place is like
monoxide.
over there.
So
But the
good.
biggest like freak out here is about asbestos.
Especially,
like,
we had a
in
lot of that
Australia,
too.
Everything in Australia is built with asbestos. So like,
I swear there's a
Yeah.
town somewhere literally called asbestos.
I love you guys are saying asbestos. Is that just how it's pronounced for you guys?
asbestos. That's so.
Yeah. How do you pronounce it?
Asbestos. You just
Asbestos.
emphasize the O at the end. It's just for asbestos. It's just fun.
Yeah.
That's
It's
just-
not
It sounds really cool. It sounds cool when you say it. It
I
sounds
don't
like
know.
a,
I'm not
like a
an
new
expert.
video
Or anything,
game
I just kind of
console.
sniff it every day. So maybe if you like take a book
no,
out of the
it's
page out of my
asbestos.
book, maybe actually ask the expert instead of just taking it.
fucking Aussie cunt. Oh, I fucking can't.
I agree.
I would love to go to Australia and just, I would shoot a kid.
Dude, if you come to
No, you wouldn't.
Australia, you can't stay at my house.
I have a question. What if I? Okay, so I got so I'm planning on as soon as I get my apartment situation figured out. I plan on getting a gun, like an actual like handgun, concealed carry, because you know.
Dude,
Yeah.
you can play Russian roulette on the podcast.
Well, what I was, I can do that right now. My
But load-
dad has a
but-
revolver upstairs.
Yeah, put bullets in all.
Just imagine. We're playing reverse Russian roulette where there's five chambers that have bullets in them.
one blank slot.
One blank. But imagine we're playing Russian roulette. It's like, okay, Brody, your turn. Boom! You see the camera feet cut out, and I start screaming.
Oh.
Fucking Jesus! Where did I drop?
Then Mac walks in and just goes, "Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back."
Imagine if like while you're sleeping you woke up and Mac was like on your face and like he was like
And he's whistling.
No, but he was like trying to like reach into your mouth, like he was trying to open up your mouth. Like, what would you do in that moment?
I'd probably open my mouth.
You'd open your mouth for Mac?
Well, I don't. Well, what's he playing at?
I don't know. You don't know. You just fucking woke up
geezer.
to Mac from Mac
Ah.
and me with his fucking fingers on your lips trying to open it, but he's so small and so weak he can't exactly get it all the way.
Then he can't get it up. Jeez, poor kid. So,
I'd
I'd
just
probably,
fucking grab him by the neck and strangle him.
I'd probably put him in the microwave. To be honest with you,
I would do that too. You deserve it. He's evil.
he's the perfect size. Just chuck him in there. Put him like reheat. I don't know, like
What if-
casserole.
What if while
And
you're
then
putting him in
just put
there,
him in.
you hear,
That's his dad.
and then, his dad breaks in through the door, and coming from his little whistle hole, he goes, and starts running at you. What would you do?
Then I'd put.
By the way,
butter
just to be clear, how fast this guy is. With every single step, he moves 5 feet closer. Just one step, and he's running.
Okay, Shit. Okay. I'd probably, because my fridge is like next to the microwave, but it's the entrance of the kitchen. So when he comes in, I'd open the fridge, knock him off balance a bit,
Yeah.
and then I'd put him in the fridge.
What if he like?
And then
what
I'd
if-
recreate the Indiana Jones crystal skull scene and just blow up the whole town.
What if when you did that and he fell over, and you went to grab him, he says, "No, please, I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little friendly guy." Would you stop?
I'd ask. I'd actually know what I'd consider it, but then I'd continue. But
What
I'd
if
probably
he-
do it with more vigor.
What if he blew you up with one of his little magical spell things? He just looks at you and blows you up.
What? Then I'd be blown up, wouldn't I?
Yes, you just be dead. You just fucking lost
I mean,
the
you got a
game.
point.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, you kind of. Yeah, that's kind of game end for me, isn't it? It's a bit of an end to the hypothetical. What if you, dude? Imagine if you died. What would you do?
What if when you blew
Imagine
up?
that
Wait,
meme
wait,
of like
wait,
the
wait.
"What would you do" with the Earth exploding. I don't know if you've seen that. Where it's like, "What would you do?" And it's
Yeah, it says,
the whole
I would
Earth is
survive.
exploding.
No, but like, okay.
Is this just a for real or an on God situation?
No, but like, so but then he literally he snaps his fingers and you can see this whole time. So you explode, but your eyeball, you can still see through one of your eyes. The other one's just black because you're gone, but you can still see it. You still process what you're seeing. And then as like that eye's floating there, he like reforms you back to normal. So you're still like, now you're back to normal. You didn't blow up. It's like you reversed it. He's still on the ground though. And he says, Gorbachev's alive, and then he dies of a heart attack. What would you do then?
I'd probably take Mac out of the microwave and interrogate
No,
him
Mac's already dead. He already
vigorously.
exploded. You already blew him up. You just killed the Mac family.
Damn it! No, the mother's there.
Well, yeah, but it's
And
a
then
mother
the
and a
older
daughter.
brother.
There's no men left. They
Oh,
can't.
is there a daughter? Oh yeah, there's a daughter.
She was
I forgot
addressed
about the
at the end,
reveal
yeah.
at the end.
So you just ended the family
Yeah.
line. It can't continue.
Well, I don't know about that. Oh,
But yeah, what would you do in that
dude.
situation? Would you try to give it CPR? Would you try to?
New family. your family
I'd strap her in a chair and then start playing some the numbers Mason
The
scene.
mom?
And, yeah, and I
Where's the
start
mom?
going,
You don't know where the mom is. You just see the dead father
What
and dead
I'd do,
Mac.
I'd put my hand in the father's throat pipe and then recreate the whistle sound.
How do you even do that? Like, just like wiggle your fingers in there until you hear a squishing noise. Like,
Yeah, but you gotta blow through it though, so then the air comes through. You make sure you find the
do like
the
a suction
throat
thing over his
G-spot,
mouth,
you
where
can
you
do
put
it.
your palm over his mouth and like pull it out really quick, so it goes. You know.
No, it's like, you know when you puncture someone's lungs that they can't breathe with a straw? It's like that in their throat. You just put it in their
Nasty.
throat and you blow it in.
What would you do if when you had the whistle, the mom came out, like pinned you to the ground and raped you?
I'd probably start playing Whistle by Flow Rider.
You start playing Subway Surfers. You're being molested.
To get over the
Of
pain.
course.
You're so just you're like, yeah,
That's
this is not
I'm
engaging my
sorry,
brain
but
enough. I
that-
have to play Subway
that is the-
Surfers.
I'm sorry, but that's like the worst thing. Just this is an awful thing to joke about. Just some victim or something. And only way they get over it is by playing Subway Surfers.
Audience member, if you've been molested and get over it by playing Subway Surfers,
Playing
please
Temple
comment
Run.
below. By playing Temple Run or Subway Surfers, you have to let us know.
No, you have to play Temple Run if it's that serious.
Yeah.
Temple
Well, yeah,
Run
because if
2.
you do
Requirement.
Subway Surfers, you're not a real man. You know, you deserved. Okay, I'm not gonna say that.
Whoa.
You're not a real man.
Whoa. Minion Rush? Question mark.
No, that's even worse. Didn't you tell me that you played Minion Rush like unironically, Silas? Was that you?
I did, and I did, and then I ended up not playing it anymore because I just realized
You're playing.
I don't know.
Rush.
what I needed, like the go-to toilet game where you sit down, you play on your phone while you're in the toilet. But now at the moment, I've just been so aggressive with my shits. I haven't had the time to play games. I've been in that focus, clenched fist, clenched toes,
That's nasty, man. That's just gross.
legs, hands up, just this aggression. And I'm not gonna continue. I'm not gonna continue with that bit. I'm gonna stop that.
I don't even know what to say. Like that was genuinely just so foul.
Yeah,
like,
no, I don't either.
You're actually a bastard.
Yeah,
Silas.
based on a true story though. Mine was the toilet bit. I just did that in my pants.
Are we gonna do a full 2-hour episode, or are we just gonna go for one at this point? Because like this is the most cancer-ridden shit I've ever fucking.
This is cancer, but the thing is, the
We
people
Little
need
Opinions
cancer
started out
from-
so good and humble. We did a cool episode on fucking Halo Infinite where we had
I
discussion
think
points.
it's legit this one episode which is gonna be like the breaking point now, because like as soon as we've mentioned politics, that's it.
Yeah.
We've just gone into this.
All
All right, let's talk about our beliefs on
Gorbachev
trans people. Let's
and
do
that.
it. We got nothing left to lose.
How about we
Let's
talk
talk
about
about the
the
Young
hit
Turks.
movie? Let's talk about the hit movie Bullet Train, guys. What's
Have
your
we
thoughts
seen?
and
Has everyone
feelings
here
on Bullet
seen
Train?
Across the Spider-Verse?
No.
No, I'm actually no.
I have.
I've seen Amazing Spider-Man though.
I like Amazing Spider-Man.
Really? Really?
I think
hadn't-
I'm gonna be
I
honest with
hadn't
you.
looked
Amazing
into that.
Spider-Man 1 is my favorite Spider-Man movie. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say
Okay,
it.
it's not my
Yeah.
favorite, but it's definitely up there. I really like the Amazing Spider-Man one. I think too many people
The
shit
thing
on it
is-
just because it's different.
Oh, I know, but I'm sorry, but I don't like the suit in the second one. I prefer the first one. Yeah, call me an idiot,
Same here.
but
Same
I
here.
pref-
Thank you.
I like the gold lenses. It was different. It separated him from Tobey Maguire. Like Tobey Maguire was
Yeah.
like the OG kind of style, and I like the differentiation from it.
I would have changed the color from gold to blue personally, but I like the suit. I think the suit looks
Blue.
really cool.
Yeah, no, that would be cool. There was an initial concept it was black actually, which didn't look too bad, but blue I wouldn't mind. But it just kind of, it was that, and I'm sorry, but I love this. Okay, now I'm gonna be constantly hated on for this, and this is gonna be a spoiler for the future episodes because we're gonna be doing tier lists of suits and that. but at least you know where I stand now. It's gonna be a bit of an Easter egg to test your like the opinions knowledge for the future
The
episodes.
testicle.
But his the initial suit he put on with the beanie and the glasses, I love that. Okay,
I hated
and
that.
anybody
Shit.
goes,
You
"Oh,
lost me."
I know, but I loved it. It was so funny. And
I mean,
okay,
okay.
there's one excuse what people say about the movie, which I hate, and they're like, "Oh, he's taking revenge, and he's not saving the people who are the criminals and all that stuff." And
Isn't that kind of the point?
Spider-Man would never go out of anger and revenge.
That's the point.
And I'm like, well,
it's not
maybe
Spider-Man at that point.
Yeah. No, and I'm like, even if he's not like the whole Tobey Maguire one, he's gonna go full camp suit, you know, going to like do a wrestling match with the what's his name, the guy from Evil Dead. Like, obviously, you know,
Bruce fucking.
probably not gonna happen, but I liked it. It was like the first step of the Sony universe, whatever, being gritty, like kind of like a dark kind of bit.
I think the only
Which
reason that this movie worked
in
while
terms of
the other-
Spider-Man, in terms of Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, in terms of like just any of the other Sony Spider-Man shit schlop that they've fucking made, like Morbius, God, that movie was fucking awful.
I like Venom 1, but anyway.
I thought Venom
Yeah,
1 was
hate
okay.
me.
It had some issues though, but anyways,
Oh, I
It's
had
like-
plenty of issues, but I like Tom Hardy.
agreed. But yeah, just in general, it's like you want to know why Amazing Spider-Man worked while a lot of those other movies haven't. There's one reason. Because Mark
Andrew
Webb
Garfield.
is such a good director, and when you let him make something, it usually tends to be really good. And you know, what, you want to hear something really funny that nobody talks about? Did you know? Like, anytime anyone shits on the script
His
of
surname's
The Amazing
Webb.
Spider-Man 1, it pisses me off. Because the writer of the fucking Amazing Spider-Man 1 is the same guy who wrote Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that. Like, nobody talks
Spider-Man
about that.
2.
Yeah, the first
Wait,
Spider-Man 2
one
is in
second, let me just
Sam
rewind.
Raimi's Spider-Man
That's-
2.
Wait, is that Doc Ock?
Yes. Like
Is
the
that really
really
Doc
good
Ock?
one, like one of the
Yeah.
best superhero movies ever fucking
Yeah.
made.
Yeah.
At any point in the
Um,
Amazing Spider-Man 1
well-
that you feel like the script has issues, or any moments where it feels like this movie is kind of just ugh.
Oh,
All
the thing
of
is,
it's
I
studio
don't, and
shit.
I don't mind the backstory. A lot of people hated the backstory, but I didn't mind it. It was different. Sure, it was very, very different. I was like, holy moly, what, you know. But I didn't mind it, and especially with the end credit scene of the second one, that was pretty cool. When his dad's back, he's like, "Why are you here? What are you doing?" And then I don't know if you guys do any research on actually what the third Amazing Spider-Man movie concept was,
The third
which
is so
it was
bad.
weird.
So bad. Such a bad idea.
Did you hear about it?
About how he's going to bring back people
With-
from the dead?
Yeah.
Fucking dumb. So
I was
dumb.
like,
Well, the
I'm
first
glad
one was
it had
good
the-
because
I'm
it was
sorry.
based in reality. That was like the whole idea of it. That's why. That's again like all the
And the
studio
two
mandate
things-
shit made it so fucking bad. Like you have these holograms. Like those don't fucking exist in the real world. Stop. It's dumb.
yeah. There's two things though, which I gotta say, which they like they did so well in the Amazing Spider-Man series, even in the second one. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. The best thing, which there's two things. First thing is the music. The second, especially the first one, I love the theme song in the first one, the second one, but the second one for Electro's theme, the actual meaning behind that song, like the theme song, like if you actually like, I don't know if you guys know anything about.
This time I actually
Actually-
have just fallen asleep. What the fuck is going on? My brain
It's
just
alright,
shut
man.
off, and I've
It's alright.
You
We're
know
talking
what?
about
Like,
Scooter
you know,
Man.
like when you turn the age of 4 and you finally like gain consciousness. That's how it feels right
Yeah.
now. I feel like I've just gained consciousness.
Well,
What the fuck
wait,
is
what-
going on?
I'm
Welcome,
sorry. We're gonna
welcome.
change.
But
We're gonna change this really quick. We gotta go back to where we started with the whole politics shit. Silas, I just got the notification about you going to that post I was reading about earlier about the whole fucking voting thing, and Silas left 2 comments on this post. He sent a GIF of Joe Biden saying "whoa," and then that whole about the chick who I was debating with. Silas left a comment because you know how the guy said "speak queen." He left a comment saying "speak king" and added me.
I clashed after 2 years. You're welcome. To 3 years, it's fine.
Thanks, man. I needed that, man.
But like, I don't know if you know Pertlight then about the electro theme song and actually like what, because I think it was Hans Zimmer. But like, do you know the actual like, yeah, and like the kind of talking in that, and you can
Yes.
kind of hear
Oh
like
yeah,
the different phases.
I hate Spider-Man. Beep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that. That was so sick, and it
I
was
like
like
this
such a
theme.
cool. Yeah, and
like
like
it.
it actually had meaning behind it. It wasn't just like a dun 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 dun.
Well, okay,
You know, that
here's what I
kind
can
of.
say. I didn't like the he hated me eyes electricity. I thought that shit was corny as fuck, and that kind of
I
ruined
didn't
the
even hear
song.
that.
You didn't hear? Okay, so whenever you're
No.
listening to the song again, there's cues, and I don't know if it's in the song. It might be in the movie actually, but it rhymes, so I'm pretty
it's
sure it's
just the
part of the
movie.
song. But there's a part where it's right when Electro's in the Times Square or whatever, and everyone's like all the cameras
Yeah.
are switching over to Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
and in the background track you can hear he hated me electricity and shit like that.
Oh my god. There was
So
the
corny,
best
it's
thing
so
is like
good.
that sounds stupid, but the opening bit when it's like the paranoia, you know,
I-
those bits.
I like
that sounded pretty sick.
I like the part where all the electricity in that area goes away, and then when it comes, everything comes back on. It goes, like I like
Yeah.
that. It's a really cool. I like this theme.
The
I
thing
hate
is-
the fucking the little whispers. Where it's like, he hated me, and there's
Yeah.
a part where it's like I'm gonna I kill. It says something with Spidey. I think it was kill Spidey.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's so
Yeah.
corny.
It's something like that. But the thing, okay, maybe we actually do an episode about recreating the Amazing Spider-Man 2
I'm
to make it good, because
more than accepting of that.
I would
Like,
love to do that. You've made
Brody-
me really hard because
Brody, how do you feel about the Amazing Spider-Man?
Brody. There's legit. I think I'm not going to say much because obviously I saved it for that episode. But there's one thing which I would change, like a huge thing, in the second one. There's one huge difference which I would do, and I'm not going to get into too much detail about it. I would rather a Spider-Man universe, because obviously, like, you know, when you got like Ned and all that stuff, I'd rather this Andrew Garfield be a loner and not have anything to do with Harry Osborn or whatever. He doesn't even exist in this universe. If that was the case, because if you're not gonna have him in the first movie, don't bother with him, because he was fine without him. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that before I continue anymore.
Okay.
You know, that's a little taste, guys, already for your Amazing Spider-Man 2 remake episode
Brody, go ahead.
next week.
Go ahead with what?
Well, how do you feel
I
about the
just
Amazing
said-
Spider-Man movies?
Oh, Amazing Spider-Man movies. I don't know, because on the one hand, I do think that in their own world they are good. I think they were well made, to an extent. Number two, no, but the first Amazing Spider-Man, I'll give credit to. I actually kind of liked, but I still think that just the regular Spider-Mans are better, just objectively. I think
Grr.
they're a lot more true to the original vision of what Spider-Man is.
So everyone who's
And I
listening to
think
this
that the
podcast,
actors
I
did
do hope you
well.
know we are hiring a third co-host now. Just want to let you know that we are going to be hiring soon. We're still going through the process of firing one of us. We're not going to say who.
Yeah. No, yeah. Then
It's called Lethal
No way,
Opinions,
hey.
not Wrong Opinions, Brody. No, I'm just kidding.
Brody.
Come on,
No,
tell me, what did I say that's
No,
objective?
no, it makes sense what you said. It makes sense, and like
All
I
I
got
heard
even
was
with the whole original.
That's why I heard. No, I'm just kidding.
Nearly squat. No, but
so
like the whole.
Hey, I'm gonna leave on my own. You don't even have to follow
Brody.
me.
Brody. So like the whole original Vision thing, I kind of get, but again, I think that should remain with Tobey Maguire's legacy. I think you should
Yeah.
definitely. I think it's something where you gotta kind of.
reach out from that original vision. make
Yeah,
something
like as
new.
in
Yeah.
have that exist, because now we know obviously with the No Way Home that you know the Spider-Man all coexist, you know, together, different universes. So I'd be very happy just to go, you know what, this kind of Andrew Garfield's kind of version on it, you know?
God
It's a
damn.
bit like, I don't even know anymore what I was going to say. It was something, but even with the classic Batmans or whatever, and it was like, he's a good one. Like the whole, that's actually a good example. The what's his name? Guy from Twilight. And you got, you know, obviously,
Robert Pattinson.
his version of yeah, him, and then also Christian Bale. Two completely different takes on the Batman role. Doesn't mean one's shitty and one's not. It's the same with Spider-Man. It's a different take and impersonation. There's a difference between that and having the Jared Leto Joker exist, okay, and you know any other Joker, now that's a boo boo. But like what I'm talking about with the Spider-Man one, it's kind of you can't really kind of compare in that way.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Are
it
you
shouldn't
talking
be.
shit about Jared Leto's Joker? I love the scene where he goes, "I'm an idea." Ah ha ha ha, and then he has a dick get shoved in his ass. Goes, Batman.
And then he lies down on the floor. And
He
he's got
lies
little
down the
baby
ground with a bunch of
outfits
knives around him because you know it's like
and baby
it's
outfits as
chaos. You know, it's chaos, and he goes, ah ha ha ha. It's like I actually.
My favorite bit is the scene where he
My
jokes.
personal favorite Joker moment is, ta-da! Fucking like slams a dude's head into a.
No, that was the good
Yeah,
Joker.
that
That
was-
was the good Joker. We're not
Yeah,
talking about
that
the
was
good
the
Joker.
Yeah,
The Australian one from
Exactly.
Perth, guys. Perth reference. Perth reference. Oh my god.
I-
Oh my god.
I find it funny that
Yeah.
there's a scene that was cut out of the Snyder. So first of all, I want to say I hated the Snyder cut. I thought it was awful.
Is that?
Anyways,
I know which one you're talking about, but
the
continue.
Justice
yeah.
League
I
Snyder
know.
cut, yeah. But there's a cut scene, if I remember, where Joker was supposed to show up in like the future or something.
Yeah.
And Batman
Yeah.
says, "I will fucking kill you." And it's like, wow,
Yeah.
Batman swearing is like the least fucking intimidating thing. It makes him so
Yeah,
fucking
no.
goofy. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, Batman wearing a Speedo would be so much more intimidating than him
Yeah.
swearing.
Adam West Batman is more intimidating than that.
Then Batman swear. Like the second a Batman swears, it makes him less intimidating. Like just immediately.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If Adam West came up to me with shark repellent, I'd be more scared than hearing him go, "I'm gonna
Are you a
fucking
shark?
kill you."
Did you just reveal that you're a
Yeah,
shark?
no. Reference because it's Australian sharks. Oh my god.
No, I actually don't. I get it. He came up to you
No,
with
no,
shark
no,
repellent.
no.
Why
We're
would that
actually
scare you?
referencing the fact that you're like a,
No, I'm
a
saying
loan
that's the
shark and
point.
You've stolen
That's the
thousands
point,
of dollars.
though. Wait, that's the point, though, because you know the original movie is the shark repellent. He
Yeah,
uses
but you're
the
not a shark, so
but,
the
like,
shark repellent wouldn't
I know.
scare you, Sylas.
Exactly,
Yeah,
but
you're not
it's more scary than Batman saying that.
Oh, I get
There
it.
we go. There we go. We got that.
That was
But
such a
also,
weird
I'm
way
an
to say
idiot
that.
because 15 minutes ago, I said about the Amazing Spider-Man, there's two things which are great about it. The music, I didn't say the second bit. It's the swinging scenes with the whole POV and all that stuff. And I love the POV shots and also the sick flips in it. I'm sorry, but that was dope. Especially the first
You should be
movie's
sorry,
ending
you
where he
dirty
goes like,
fucking whore.
oh, yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
All right,
Pardon
well,
you, beg.
Brody, I have a question for you.
You have a question for me? That's great.
Yeah, so I really wanted to end this episode on something like a big bang, you know.
Big Bang Theory reference.
I wanted to ask you a really important question. Where is Mac? Because you've been in contact with Mac for the past 4 months, and don't try to fucking pretend that you haven't, because we all know. We've seen the fucking leaked DMs on Twitter. You've been in contact with Mac. You've been in contact
Seen your
with me
OnlyFans as well.
for several fucking months. I need to know, where are they located?
Because your OnlyFans has just been blowing up with Mac and you just going ham.
Mac and me, Mac and
yeah.
you, Mac and Electric Boogaloo.
Mac-
So you are going to tell me
I
right
should've
fucking now.
known.
Electrocuted nipples.
I should have known this was coming.
Mhm.
Right, so basically,